I can desire to be with someone and let them lead, but everyone cannot lead me. And so that's not going to make me soften. Actually, it will actually make me a lot more tough.
Tonight's topic, we're going episode 5, and we're going to talk about 5 weeks. And we'll just get started because people will start coming in about the strong woman. So I don't know if you got but we're talking about the strong woman problems. I mean, when you think about a strong woman, what's your idea of a strong woman?
I wouldn't even say just independent, because you could have a strong woman and she could be, married, right? But she's still a strong woman. I wasn't prepared for this conversation, but
oh, it's okay. It's okay. You're that guy.
Strong women, just someone that's about their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're responsible. A lot of women, they just kind of rely on the man to lead and to do everything, right? They don't have an opinion. They don't have a voice, right? So, like, even in my marriage, my wife, she have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Well, in the past, there were people just, oh, okay, whatever you say, they just kind of passive. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I guess I'm gonna pivot a little bit, Erica. Something that's on my spirit. Let's talk about strong women. Is anybody familiar with Maxine Perry? Maxine Perry was Tyler Perry's mother, who passed away in 2000.
Oh yeah.
And the documentary is out and it's big. It looks like a little controversy, but people are not talking about it. But they said that he's a billionaire, of course. So that's a strong woman. And I saw an ad earlier, or a reel, where someone was saying that you got to blame the mother or the woman for males. So how we act. I mean, I don't know if that's all the way true, but that's what I saw. I'm just telling you what I saw. And she is responsible. And a lot of kids, and I mentioned this in some previous episodes, is one of the first people you think outside of God is your whom, if she's alive, your mother. So it stems back to a conversation we had in one of the other podcast episodes of the mother, which is a strong woman. And he wondered why he was beaten. So does anyone know the story? I don't want to spoil
it. I seen it last week.
I saw it.
I have not seen it, but you won't spoil it for me. You can tell it.
All right. It's going to really, she took the whippings. She watched her son get whipped, and the father whipped him because he accused the mother of saying that that's not my son.
And it wasn't.
That's right.
That wasn't his dad.
That's right. My point is, she's still a strong woman. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But it just shows you that she still did what she had to do. She took care of him, and she had hung in there. But Tyler never understood why she stayed with him with all of those whippings and lashings. But of course, she knew that wasn't the father. And she named him after, Tyler Perry was named after that father that she claimed was her father, as Junior. And he wasn't ever a junior. His name was Emmett Perry Sr. And so Tyler changed his name. I mean, he changed his name to Tyler. But no, that towards the end, that's what they revealed, that was not his father. And the trauma he had to go through, the man he became today, he is today. I mean, but he had to go through that. But I feel that she's definitely a strong woman. I guess that's why I'm making the point that strong is in different ways. Because this podcast tonight, Erica and team, is not about who's the perfect woman or the perfect. It's no such thing. So I feel that she's strong. I feel that if she wouldn't have had Tyler Perry, our world would look so different. It says so many people that if we weren't created, no matter how that happens, some people are created through a rape, and they've changed the world. So I guess that just hit me when we talk about the strong woman, to be open about it, understanding there's a difference between perfect and strong. But she definitely, to me, is a strong woman, was a strong, and it drove him. You want to say anything about it, Erica, now that you know that? Because we had a episode, I think it was episode 2, where we talked about cheating. And I said that everyone cheats. I don't know if you want that, Frederick. You probably missed that one. But everyone cheats, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, mentally, there is some cheating going on, because it's cheating is, in my definition and opinion, anything that someone does that you don't want your significant other to know about. It's not always physical sex, but it could be you have this conversation, repeated conversation with someone, you know that you don't want anyone to know about that. Or you may think that your significant other may not allow it or be against it, but you feel that it's not a big deal and you have that under control. So in a way, you've kind of cheated the situation because you're not going to be upfront and honest about it. And if they don't ask, you're not going to really mention it. And that happens. So that was our definition. We had a lot of people, well, we had Ashley especially commenting on that, of the cheating part, but it's different degrees, but people do cheat. But Erica, I'm curious to, now that you know that, and Fred did say it, and it kind of surprised me, but my opinion of her did not change at all. She's still a strong woman.
I would say that there's probably, because you knew or know your experience has been that you're closest to your mom, so you can identify that bond between the mom and the son, and that's probably why it's prevailing. The strength is prevailing to you. It is a very interesting juxtaposition for him, because he always gives allegiance or glory to his mom when he wins awards, which says that he has forgiven her and understood that, I think she was strong in her ideal. She wanted a father figure for her son, which is why she endured that process. But see, there's that underlying strength, that question of strength, though, is like, was the ideal so much more powerful than stepping out from the shadow to show him something different? Because that will have an impact on his relationship with women in the future, or how he deals with females or whatever like that. Or that it could have potentially went the other way, where he could have saw that as a really toxic situation, that relationship that she had, that she never left him. She stood there. She was strong in her wrong, as they would say, in terms of knowing that that's not his father, and still, holding on to that. But I mean, that's their journey. That's their forgiveness. So I wouldn't dare attack that, because I'm not on the inside. And of course, they're only showing you the piece that the piece of the story they want to kind of portray. But when Frederick alluded to earlier about a wife being strong, something that came to mind when I was thinking about our topic yesterday was that probably the most underrated strong woman there is a housemaid wife. Here, this woman is cleaning and doing all these things, and she's a homemaker, and she's holding it down at home and backing him up or whatever. And a lot of times there is this passive type of personality. And she knows her why. I'm in here for my kids. I'm in here for this, or I want a family. I want, this ideal or whatever like that. But that's probably the most underrated strong woman. And I have met some powerful women that are in that capacity, that have understood from the beginning that was their role. Someone I know that is so very successful, they share it as a team. Like, it's a male lead and he owns a company, and I mean, very dynamic, very diversified business experience. And then she's always held the home down, had the family. But we had an opportunity to have dinner together, and I was like, man, this woman right here is a beast. But they got together when they were both young, high school sweethearts, and understood that their roles together, this would be my role, this would be your role. And she said it so eloquently, my goal was always that I wanted to support whatever he wanted to do, and how I could do that and best hold down our family and all that. And that's that submission, that sacrifice. And he doesn't, he treats her like she's the one out there winning with him, out there making the millions right alongside him. There's no difference, because when he goes home, he's going home to her and their family. So, but I think, like I said, the homemaker or the housewife is one of the most underrated strong women that they are. And they don't get enough credit, because people only think about, they're working, they're out this. It's no, but there's so many other roles, if you will, hats that women have to play, even if you are a wife that works or a significant other that's also a breadwinner. So someone has to soften. I know we talk about strong women problems, but there has to be a softness in some category capacity in order for the strength to not overtake the situation to where it becomes more like a curse. So you have to walk a balance when it comes to those types of things. But definitely, I can understand from the story you shared that took some strength, because even though she wanted this ideal, if you think about a mama bear with her cub and somebody hurting her cub, that could be completely different and has been different in somebody else's story. So
I think a lot of time we get strong mixed up with being in survival mode, because a lot of independent women are in survival mode. Not necessarily they strong, but they in survival mode.
That's a great point. I agree. Yeah, because they're forced to be something that they might not have wanted to be, but
Yep.
they have a choice. I mean,
Yep.
you die. So
They got to do what they got to do. And where, somebody that's a housewife, she's strong, but she's not in survival mode. She ain't out there having to sell her body or whatever they had to do to survive. You see what I'm saying? Just because you're independent don't mean you're strong. Because I know a lot of people that are independent, but they are broken.
definitely, and they're lonely. They may have someone, but they're not. They want something more authentic or genuine. But
Why you laughing, Erica?
she laughing
because it's true. A lot of women hold the strength like a veneer. They do. And so, like, when you see a situation where, we didn't get into it, last time, but like, you brought up an excellent point. You said women date down, but they won't marry down. And it's true, because while the strong woman is waiting in the independence, their strength is becoming a nuisance for them. Like, I'm waiting, like, Lord, when you gonna send this man and where he's at, and all that. But she might have dude coming through every now and then to do some oil changes or whatnot. But the reality is, in order to keep that image, keep that appearance, it's who she's expected to be. Maybe she came from a single parent household, or where she's trying to kind of leave the mold of what the expectations were in her family dynamic, whether it be, she's the first one to graduate college, she's the first one to do different things and have a great job or whatever like that. So that survival mode, that's what's really happening, like you're saying, Frederick. But really and truly, the brokenness is hidden with the strength, because she doesn't know any other way to be. It's like, no, I can't be weak, because no, the whole world would fall apart if I did that. And I just can't crack right now. We just have to make it. And so it's a lot of strong, depressed women out there.
It's true. It's unfortunate, but I mean, it's been going on for years, for decades. So it's nothing new. What would you feel is something that a woman could do, Erica, to be softer? When you use the term soft, what do you mean by having a softness?
Well, several things. So in a relationship, somebody has to yield. And submission is like underrated, because it's really just saying, I trust you. And so strong women, like, I just use myself. The thing about that is, I can desire to be with someone and let them lead. That's like one of my number one qualities about any male. But everyone cannot lead me. And so that's not going to make me soft. And actually, it will actually make me a lot more tough. It'll make me a lot more alpha, and I will sniff out the weakness very quickly. So for me, the softness of who I am would come in the form of the intimacy of the relationship that I have with the male, right, that I'm close to. And because of the nature of what I do, business owner, self-employed, those types of things, well, and I deal with a lot of men as clients too, I'm always rocking in my strength. I'm always rocking in my power. It's just the same way as my skin on my body, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to children, elderly, less fortunate, that's where you soften your approach, especially when you know that somebody doesn't need anything from you and they genuinely just want to connect with you or want your presence. You can soften in that. It's just that society puts such pressure on you, especially if you are a single female, if you're a successful female, and you recognize where you are spiritually, mentally, emotionally. There's a lot that comes with it. So a lot of times what happens is you become the reservoir for everyone else's weakness. They're calling you and they're complaining to you about their lives, and they're telling you different things, and they're confiding in you, and because they trust you and you are a safe space. But then you will find that you don't have a lot of options when you need to unburden yourself in the same manner. As a matter of fact, most times you can't even, you just kind of have to work that through with prayer, meditation, or some other form, because people can't necessarily handle you when you're not strong. So it becomes that double-edged situation. But the softness, I think we find ways with different individuals, with different circumstances, to be soft so that it doesn't sacrifice who you are, and you can still say it doesn't diminish how powerful I am or how prominent I am or how successful I am, to be soft in this way. And it's also probably the most misunderstood characteristic, especially when men come after you, right? So somebody could be attracted to someone like me, and they're thinking of all the ways I can bless their life or impact them or help them get to the next level, but they haven't first encountered how will they shape my life for the better. You know what I can do if I'm an asset in your corner, but what can you actually do to help me? What you don't even know my needs. You don't even know what I'm looking for. So the strength part won't ever let you be soft enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna let you in and let you know. It for me, it becomes a situation where you become more like the male. So just how men are like, I'll show you my hand before I show you my heart. Like, I'll take you out to dinner. I'll do all these things for you, but giving my heart as a last ticket option, it makes you do the reverse. Whereas if I was younger, or when I was younger, rather, I would be a little bit more prone to be more loving, more soft. But now that I'm older, I'm like, no, that's not gonna happen. So, but you learn how to balance it, is what I'm saying. So that you can't be. Some women are just so, I gotta always be strong, that they just want a kid. Come on in, fill it in this space right here, and that's all I need you for. They just do the reverse of the Barbie, right? But at the same time, if you're too strong, you're not attracting who you want to attract. So you have to find the balance of strength with softness so that you don't lose the opportunity to actually be found by the person you're looking for.
I think it's a lot to do with compromise. I mean, I know you have a strong list, a list of rules or requirements, but you got to understand that men have requirements as well, and making sure that it's a way that it's a little bit of flexibility, because again, we all are continuing to grow and get older, and you may have to tweak it or modify it just a little, and on both ends. But I think that's the ideal list or the ideal expectation. But we also got to think about are we really matching what the person that we want to find us? Are we really in that space of what we're requiring? Sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're 6 months out, but we want what we want right now. So I'm just, not so much you, Eric, but I'm just saying for women and men, that we have to make sure that whatever we were requiring is who we are first, because you're going to attract who you are and where you are, no matter how. It's no secret sauce in that. You might be to fool somebody for a moment and even fool yourself, but the truth is the results are going to show it. I just felt led to say that. And I think about a lot of this stuff because it makes sense. And we have to move forward with this strong, because it's strong women. I'm hearing that a lot. And I like that Frederick broke it down as real. You can't have that healing until you're honest with yourself. Are you really strong? Or are you really okay? A lot of people say, I'm all right, I'm good and all that, but you're not. You have to address the personal care, not so much self-care, but personal care, that what's in you as a person before you can do all these other things. Because if not, it's going to just keep coming back. It's going to keep coming back. I was wondering, Erica, if you could share a moment when your strength was perceived as a threat or a challenge within your family or a loved one?
I got plenty of those. So because I have alpha-like qualities, when I am, well, first of all, let me say that for the women that I'm really close to, they are all strong in their own right. I mean, you can look at them on paper and like, man, that woman, she has it going on. So that'll keep you, fueled and motivated, but they're also soft. Like we talk about real things, real issues. And I've come to find out that you're probably only as strong as your greatest weakness, meaning if you can identify it. So part of the challenge of continuing to be strong is to continue to seek out and search out ways in which you need to strengthen. So I work a lot myself on myself spiritually, mentally all the time, right? And intellectually as well. And so as I'm growing to find this nice balance between strength, softness, and all the other endeavors that I have going on, I know that it's important for me to always make space, to make room for that mate one day, making time, like, can they fit in my life? What areas? But getting to your point specifically, strength was probably an issue for me. It's been an issue for me in relationships because while somebody might be very attracted to how successful I am or whatever the case may be, they don't really truly believe I am who I present myself to be. So then when we get inside to, not even so much in a relationship, but just kind of getting to know each other, I'm that woman that if you tell me this is what you're going to do, I'm going to look for it. I don't have any expectation other than the one that you set. I have the ones, I feel like, okay, I can check the list off of these initial things and okay, great. We started on this journey. But if you say, I'm doing this on this day at this time, I'm like, okay, that's what we got going on. And if I'm looking for that, then you should be a person of your word. So I'm very strong on that. The other thing is don't start anything you can't continue, because now I'm dealing with the representative, and it took me a while to figure out what the difference was. And so once I did, I can never be found in that way. But I stick to my values of this is my worth. These are the things that are non-negotiable factors for me. And I don't yield from that because I know that's what I got to have, right? And I think a lot of times the problem we end up doing is inviting weakness, AKA connecting with wrong people because of letting guards down or letting standards lax when you knew that was not, that was a big deal for you. That wasn't something that you could really negotiate on. And you think, well, we'll work that out, or when we get married or when we're in this relationship at this point. No, you're setting expectations for them too. You're saying that that's okay. So you can't just change it up later, So that strength is, because I've stuck to my why, that's also kept me from being in wrong relationships. So it worked both ways, right? In family dynamics, I am one of 7. I'm the oldest girl, number 2. So I have 5 siblings below me. And so some of my siblings are closer to each other. Like me and my youngest sister, we're the closest, like of me and my other siblings. So if one family member, whether it be my siblings or somebody in my extended family, says, we're doing this, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I stick to what I'm saying, and I know my why. They don't have to understand, and I don't back down. And because we all have a very strong personality, we're all like, we don't fold. We just gonna stay there, and so nothing gets achieved. So in the dynamics of my family, this strength works against us because we don't yield, and no one's willing to do that. So if there's no agree to disagree. This is what I think. This is how I think, and that's just it. I'm sorry you feel the way. I get what you're saying, but I'm not changing my mind. So that's where my family doesn't really play out as well. And we laugh about it, but we will fight that thing, debate it through to Jesus comes back, but we're just not relenting. And so that part is not a great thing, family dynamics, but it works outside of that. And I wouldn't give it up at this point.
See.
We got some more people on. Looks
Good.
like Carice is in the building.
I just invited
Hey,
her.
y'all. Sorry, I'm loud. I'm on a phone call and trying to hang up and talking about greens and macaroni and hanging up and trying to get on the Zoom. I love y'all, though.
JJ's looks like on here.
Who's JJ?
I don't know. It's just got the J's on there.
3 J's. Well, we're talking, Carice and JJ and everyone who just joined. Welcome. About it's our 5th episode. We're talking about the strong woman problems. So you know a little bit about strong women, Carice. Have you experienced being a strong woman where, because I know that you're seeking to be found, and that maybe being a strong woman might have kind of been, I don't know, intimidating to men, or it might not have made them feel as approachable, even though at face value you look very approachable and sweet. However, once you've opened your mouth and showed the true self, they may not feel like they want to move forward. Have you ever felt that? Because you're standing up for who you really are.
Oh, this is good. I walked into something real good. Yes. Yes, I have learned where I kind of could have gone wrong as far as understanding like just human behavior and the feminine versus the masculine. So I just started like we're talking about like, when you say be found, like be found by my king, right? Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
right. That's
Okay,
right.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, so I have just recently started to dip my toe back into the dating pond, and I realized like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I have no clue. You got to be honest with yourself, right? That's number one. And then I was just like, okay, God, my dating game is super ghetto. Like it's just ghetto. I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out. So God started to reveal to me that in the past, I was not resting in my femininity. And that doesn't mean like I'm walking around like with like this, but there are ways that we're designed, and women can be intimidating to men because we don't allow them to be the save the day, to be the hero. And we are the ones that, like, when women are powerful and strong, like we can tend to like teeter into that masculinity by fixing things and solving the problems. And so then it's like, when you think about it, there's no room for him to give. Like we are receivers just by nature. Like if you want to like get down and dirty, just the way we're designed biologically, you know, we have vaginas, like let's just get, and we are designed to receive.
Absolutely.
So even like the sperm and the egg thing, like God, I'll be having revelations over the silliest things. Like I could just be watching a video on how babies are made, and I'll see the egg just chilling like in the fallopian tube, and all these sperm are just like racing, like they're competing, trying to get to. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, I got it wrong from day one. Like I should just be resting, and yeah, I may know how to lift up that box, or I may know how to solve this problem, but let him open the door, let him lift the box up, let him change the light bulb. So it's those kind of things that that I feel that may seem trivial. It ain't even got to be us talking about how much of a boss we are and all that, but those simple things that can leave no room for the man to just save the day. And then let's talk about the boss girl stuff. Like a man is not trying to be our business partner. He's trying to be our lover. They don't care about that. And so I had to examine that. Like I had this pick me energy, pick me. And so I came out the gate like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur and I do this and this and that. And so that was like, pick me, pick me. That's an instant, like non-seductive energy to give to a man. And so I'm learning how to rest in my femininity and slowly like let him unravel me, like slowly, layer by layer. He'll find out that I own my own business eventually. He'll find out, you know, all these sides of me, but just kind of like be mysterious.
Right. It's not an interview. It's not a business interview. Because
no,
putting everything in the numbers and dollars and value, that's different type of value. They need to know the true you. So and that's not what you want to talk about all the time. So why would you, as Erica says, the way you start is the way you would be expected to finish. So if all you want to talk about is contracts and equity and all of this stuff, it's going to get old. It's not going to be, he doesn't know you. He doesn't know what your favorite color is. He doesn't know what your favorite song is. And at the end, isn't that what it's all about? When we were younger, before we knew about what chat TTP, banking, infinite banking, and all of these properties, that's not a big deal. It's not, because they can come and go. Who remembers? You remember your favorite song when you were in high school?
Of course.
All right, what was your favorite song in high school, Erica?
I had several favorite songs.
What's one?
Let Me Bad, Sex You Up. I just was really into
Oh,
the
you
R&B
were singing
stuff.
that.
I was loving everything. Tamia, Tony Braxton, everything. I was all over it.
I loved Babyface, Keith Sweat, certain people. I mean, start talking about real stuff, that the memories. So even if you didn't go to high school with the person, you still could relate or go back into that time and relate to each other and have fun. I mean, it's certain cars. Like I remember my dream car was an Acura Legend. Before they had I wanted an Acura Legend. It had that, it was chrome and it said Legend on the back. And I just said one day when I'm gonna get a Legend. I'm gonna get a Legend. Then it was the Infinity. So I mean, talking to people about those dream cars, and I mean, those are the times. I mean, and I noticed that even in business, when I talk to people about them as a person and their fears or being transparent of things I go through, the business part. I remember Frederick called me a couple of weeks ago and my sugar levels were really high, talking about some business stuff. And I was cool with it, but I wanted to be transparent and tell him that I may not be on the call the way I really want to, and this is what's going on with me. And I could feel that he respected it, and our relationship has changed since then. We talk about more real stuff. The purpose and the person is more important than the profits. And once you dig into that, because you can make money with anyone, but I would rather know who you are and what you want to do. I know that Carice wants to be found one day. So when we talk about stuff, it's not so much business. It's more the business. The first business is you. You are the business. Jay-Z says you are the business. So once you get you right and you're honest with yourself, and see, that's another thing. How are you going to expect people to be honest with you? And we always crying about, I want transparency, I want honesty, but are you honest with you? How are you showing it? I mean, you can't we're covering up our stuff, we're masking ourselves, then we go out and want everyone to show their naked body. It's unrealistic. And someone has to step up and do that. So even Carice, even the woman, if you want to be found, then let them find the real you.
Right. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm telling you, it's made me trust women so much when they were honest about something.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't want you to see me because my hair is messed up. Okay. Well, if we get into a relationship and we together for at least a year, I think then I'm gonna see that your hair is messed up. I might as well just see it now. Is that your hair? Let me see.
Right.
No, let me know. I mean,
let it all hang out.
Let it be real.
Yeah. I mean, like what you were saying about honesty, that's why I had to be honest with myself and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. But what am I doing wrong? And just kind of unpack that, do a self-check. And then as I started peeling back the layers, there were so many like hidden darknesses that I didn't realize that was there. But I realized that we're creating blocks for me, not necessarily meeting men, but just quality men. Like guys hit on me all the time. And I'm not trying to like be like cocky or anything, but it was just like no one was really aligned with what I imagined. And so another thing I unpacked, just like you said, being honest, I noticed that I would only like do things for myself when there was a guy that was courting me. And I was like, there's something just weird about that. Like I would buy nice clothes and like deep clean my house when there was a man like in the beginning stages. And I'm like, oh, the ugly truth to that. And it was ugly. It's hard. You got to put that pride to the side, was that I was attaching my value to another person, a man. Why didn't I think I was worthy of just like buying an outfit just for myself or deep cleaning my fridge just for me? And so that was hard to sit in because like, I'm not perfect. No, you're not.
Think about it like this. I love that. If you didn't go out for 3 days, would you take a shower?
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna take a shower. Like
my point. We don't take showers because we don't want, so if we go outside, we won't smell right. We take it because
do it for yourself.
Right. You brush your teeth. You might not talk to anybody. Even when I'm on the phone with people, I brush my teeth. And it's not that they can smell my it's just me. That's where I want them.
Yeah.
So I just think that whoever you are and wherever you are, that's going to be it no matter what. No matter where they put you. If you're a winner, you're a winner. If you like something quick with no substance, no matter, you can move to another city and escape and act like it's the people there. But if that's who you are, it's going to show up. It's going to show up the same way.
That's good.
Because you guys are talking about the softness. What Carice brought up is like, yeah, I'm with you. I can't lift. I can't bend. My arms are broken because I don't open doors. Like, okay, because we do like to be taken care of. Like, that's the soft quality of a strong woman, is that we want to be taken care of. But because of the layer that we have to put on, like, you know, I can't really trust you. I don't know you. I need to see that chivalry beforehand, because you're not going to develop it later. So like, if he's not opening doors now, he's not going to open them when you're together. Like, that's just not who he is. And unfortunately, most men are not really taught that. So the quality man has that. And I've been with men who don't have that piece. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. I'm just going to train you how to treat me, even if that's not your experience.
Yeah, tell them what they want. I mean, what you want.
Right.
Like, and like you said something, Erica, and it made me just go back to the thought. But tell me if I'm wrong, fellas, Jabril, Frederick, y'all on here. Like, y'all really do want to make a woman happy. Like, that is your desire. I feel like an innate desire to give to a woman, to win with her. Like, cause y'all aren't like by nature, y'all are competitive. You want to win. So even in your relationships, and I think sometimes women, we block y'all from doing that. A lot of women, just because of culture, like you said, Erica, sometimes we're taught to not be in our feminine energy and like let a man, we kind of taught like that in so many different ways. Be your own boss and blah, blah, blah. You don't need them. You could do bad by yourself, like all of that. And it's just like, those are not our beliefs. Just like,
it has to be a balance, because it's a difference between a woman being needy and showing that she needs us and that she appreciates us. And then it's a lot of women, because a woman is just needy, then that's a whole different thing. And that's more like my daughter, a child, but somebody who shows she needs us to show up in certain ways to protect. I mean, that's all you want. You want your wife or your mate to be proud of you, and you want to be proud of your mate. A needy person, you kind of feel sorry for them. You feel obligated. It's not Frederick, you know what I'm talking about. That's not the person that you want to go to battle with. They're needy. You can't even tell them when you have a bad day, because they're going to tell you how bad their day is. You don't even have a chance to have a bad day.
Takers,
they're going to suck you up. So you might as well forget about your bad day, because their day is worse. Maybe you got to go on the outside and dump that out with somebody, and hopefully, and that's where things can get a little mixed up. Where especially that's a woman that's elevating you, that and they pushing you up. So now you're going into the danger zone. And even with some men, if you're talking to them, now you're not having a communication with the person that you're supposed to be riding with. So again, showing that you need us, but not acting needy. And you know the difference. We can do it differently. Now let me ask both of you, this is a test for all the ladies. When you go out, and I'm not just talking about a date, even if you're just going to the mall or just walking, do you race to open the door for yourself, or do you allow the man to go and open the door for you?
I'm always yielding to him. I'll slow my pace just to allow him to get there.
That's why I got this number 2 up, because you said 2 things that I used to fail miserably at was slowing down and allowing. I used to just be on the go. I used to just move fast. Everything I did, I was just like on the go. That is not feminine. That's not feminine. I've noticed when I just take my time and observe and just intentionally walk slower, I notice things around me, like men are turning their heads now. And it's like, it's something as simple as that. But again, I grew up in a culture where my family culture was, we were always late. My dad and mom were always rushing. My mom, she had 4 kids, so she was just always like multitasking on the phone. So part of it was like a learned behavior. I watched my grandma, everyone was just like, we have to rush off to go to, the babysitter and rush off. They're picking me up from school, rushing off to after school activities. Just we were always, so that kind of just was part of my DNA. And then allowing, like I was just that girl, like I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. But that was a self-worth thing, that it was an ugly thing to deal with. But underneath that, there was like this hidden issue where I didn't feel like I was worthy of people helping me. Simplest thing, like opening a door, picking up a box. I always told the people, like, I got it, I got it, I got it, especially men. And then I'll be wondering why the guys, they come in hot and then they go cold 3 months later. I was just boxing them out over the simplest things. So now I slow down, like Erica said, I slow my pace and I allow. And it's just like, that's all I had to do. What?
It's just that
That's a
easy.
strong woman problem.
How about and this, just because you're on fire right now, and this is good.
Okay.
Your king may be to see you on one of these episodes. See, I've told Erica, by doing this activity, by doing this work, your king, you can be found for your king. A lot of people will find people on TV. You see somebody, and both of you ladies are faithfully on this journey, and somebody needs to know it. See, they need to know that both of you are single, but you have softness. You know that you're a boss. However, you want to work with someone. And it doesn't have to be all about business.
No.
Well, how do you balance the need for independence with the desire for close, supportive friendships? And are there moments that you feel your strength becomes a barrier?
Say that again. Say the first part of that question.
How do you balance the need for independence with the desire for close, supportive friendships? Like, how do you balance that?
Like close, supportive friendships from the opposite sex, or just?
I would say right now, opposite sex. Let's dig into it.
I think the independence things, I just try to dump that energy on something outside of the relationship, the friendship. And that way, that softness doesn't disappear. Like it'll still be there, because I'm not trying to be the boss girl in the friendship, in the relationship. Like, we do the mentorships and things like that. I try to be intentional about separating that. And then the flip side to that also is I actually am very soft and giving and loving, and I love to give. I feel like that also can be counterintuitive in a relationship too. Like when you overgive, because then you start to fall into that mama role. And again, like the men, they're not looking for nobody to be their mama. They want a lover. They're not, and it's like women, we keep showing up as the mom or the business partner, but just not the lover. And so I try to dump all of those things outside in different places. So the giving, I'll do extra for whatever, charity, church, go volunteer to hold babies, anything, so that I don't turn into his mom, because I have done that too. Like the minute that he's sick, I'm not saying I'm like this cruel person, like you take care of yourself, I'm not bringing you no soup. But the mom is just like sitting there at the side holding his hand, are you okay? And like waiting hand and foot. And we can do that. And I feel like that turns a man off. I think it turns the men off, and y'all don't even know why you turned off. Like it's like a subconscious thing, because like subconsciously you looking like she's like my mom, and then that's like a turn off. So that's just stuff that has just been revealed to me personally as to why my part that I did wrong in relationships. We can play the victim all day long. Like he left me and this and this, and then I did everything right. But did you? Like, did you? And I didn't. I was either too mothering or too boss chick, but I was never like me, because I was always trying to prove something. Just be yourself. I know that sounds so cliche, but be the real you, like who you really are. Like you said, Jabril, be who you really, really are.
You can't be anyone else. It's impossible, and it's depressing, because you're only you. And the beauty is you can't compete with you. So if you focus on you and working on you, everyone else, it won't matter. And then your king will find you. the real you. So we got to work on, that's why I said the real Jabril. I mean, all through my life, I didn't even want my name. I didn't want the name Jabril. So, so I didn't even want that. So even once I accepted my name, I still wasn't real. I still was desiring to be something else. And now I'm walking in my truth and I'm happy about it. And I can't give real advice if I'm not real. I can't be honest with people if I'm not honest with myself, because then I have a self-concept issue and I'm giving people more fluff than what I really believe. I really believe even you showing up is a healing and revealing process coming on the night. You're right on time. Showing you, putting your camera. Somebody's going to see this. I'm calling it out. December 3rd, somebody's seeing this. And I'm talking about one of those kings. Couple of kings.
Come on, matchmaker.
Carice, everyone, gentlemen. Those of you see it, like, share it, love it. Carice Brown is in town and she's on. Erica Lester's in town. She's on.
She's on.
Right.
My beautiful sister.
We're looking, it's like salt and pepper up on the thing right here. My mic sounds nice. It's tight.
Check. 1, 2.
You let them know that you can sing. You know, you might not sing at a wedding, but she can sing. She can sing. So,
beautiful outside in.
Right. So that's what people want to see. I mean, she's that you're talented. Both of you are talented, beautiful women. And men need to see that. I mean, the boss thing is cool, but it make you kind of bossy. And men, it definitely can, because you'll see the man go to someone else and you say, well, I got this. How many of you felt like that? You feel that you're way more qualified and you do not understand how you're looking at your resume and looking at that and you're wondering, then this is what you think too. But that's all right. It only going to last a year. I'll be in, and then they together for 10 years and you can't even understand why.
Yeah.
You find out there's that strength versus, the right fit. So one of the things, like Carice kind of hinted around at it, the softness that we don't show is the vulnerability side, because we can't trust that. Just like men don't trust women with their heart, for a while, we hold that part of us, that vulnerability part of us, back too. We will give you our heart quicker than we would share our vulnerability.
That's good.
Give the heart more than the real you?
No, we will give you the real us, but we'll fall in love with you first before we are willing to share our vulnerability with you.
Yeah, being vulnerable is a whole nother level. Like
fear of abandonment. Because if you give all of that and then the person leaves you or has that in a way that they can take that, quote unquote, take the kindness or the vulnerability as a weakness, then you're in a whole different category sometimes. And I mean, I think that women are more compassionate when men show their authentic self. They'll nurture, but men may prey on that and take advantage or exploit that.
There it is. And that's why people are afraid to be vulnerable, because once you expose things, it's like, man, will they use that against me? And so people are a little bit more apprehensive when it comes to being vulnerable.
That, and then you also had mentioned doing this, that, and all these things. You have been cultivated to be the problem solver. So when men are coming to you to burden what their concerns are, you're like, okay, I got to do this, I got to do that. It's like, no, baby, I just need you to listen. But they don't know how to say that. So they just start throwing randoms. And I'm like a solutions-oriented person. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? We always feel like we have to do something because that's the burden other people use our strength for. We're like,
oh, that's so good.
Can I just breathe right now? Can I just relax? But no, it's we don't understand where you need us or how you need us, but it's the need that knits the two together, right? Because men have to feel needed and stronger women are able to identify. I know that's been a struggle for me. Identify what need do you have, because I'm like, okay, I love you. I told you that. I've hugged you. I've gave you a kiss today. Asked you how your day was. Like, I'm fresh out right now. So help me out. What do you need from me?
Once he tells you, then you gotta remember, if he says he wants blue, don't have the answer in your head that is red. He told you. Right. He asked. We ask, and we still are looking for another answer, and it's just that simple, right, Frederick? We know what we want. So when you ask us, if we only require one thing, why do 5 or 6 other things? and forget about the one thing that we want.
Ineffective listening. That's what's happening.
You've already made, because you've already decided what you're going to do for him.
That's right.
No matter what he wanted, you said, I'm already got something in the car that's similar to what he said. I'm just going to give him that. That's not giving or love, because let's say something that's a perfume. And I think you talked about this. Perfume, one is $200, one is $50. The one that you love and the one you want is $50. That's it. The $200 one. So what I share with people is you get both, because you're the one who wants the $200, but you got to give the person what they want as well, because that's what they're going to truly appreciate. The $200 one you can get for yourself, but you're not really getting that for the other person, because that's not what they asked for. And you asked them. So you can't say they're ungrateful, they don't appreciate. You could have saved $200 and just got them the 50, and it would have felt like $200 to them, because that's what they wanted. Does anybody know what I'm talking about when we talk about listening and true giving?
Yeah, that part's hard. And I think too, for us as women, it's because people have manipulated so much in the past. So when we hear that's what you want, we're like, I don't know about it, because you're showing me something different, or my experience with you hasn't always panned out. So for example, I've been in relationships where someone will tell me they want exactly this, and I give them that, and they're looking for something else. And that's because they didn't come update me that they changed their mind on the thing they say they wanted. So that's ineffective communication, right? You sent me down this rabbit hole when I actually just need to make a right turn, and there's the item. Let me bring it back to you. So like there's that guessing game. I like to be discovered. So I don't want to sit around and be like, here, my favorite color is this. I like having genuine conversations that discover each other, but then there are things that I don't. I was telling Jabril this one guy, I'll call him Bay for a second, but one of the things that I love about him is that he can articulate his feelings very well. And we found ourselves in a situation that he basically told me I was being selfish, even though that was not my intention and not what I was trying to do. But the words he used inferred to me that was pretty selfish of you to not consider that he would be thinking about that. Right. It was a very mature observation. And in this situation, I wanted to give him a high five, but that would have been condescending at the time. But I was going to be his biggest cheerleader, because it's the one thing that is so difficult to find. People can they can tell you they're upset or they're feeling some type of way, but they can put it in words that you'll understand, where it's not an attack. Like what he described for me, he led me through this journey, which was like, so the situation was, well, the words that he used was just like, I know you wanted everything to be perfect in that regard, but you didn't consider it was just a way to maximize the time that we had together, rather than you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to go here, you want to go there. And that doesn't have to happen today. But I just wanted to spend time with you. But, if he just told me that from the beginning, then we could have solved that. For sometimes it is as simple as it really is. And if we just simply ask for, this is what I want, that's nothing else. Babe, can you spend time with me today? Rather than you always, that's how it comes out. That's it as women, definitive statements. Well, why you got to go over there? Or why you got to do that? And the questions are throwing us off, and it's got us feeling some type of way. And we're like, I can't do anything right. Well, really, I just need you to say, I want to spend time with you today. And we could have just saved so much energy. Like
so much energy.
But it's just like, just tell me what you want, because we want it to be simple too. Just like we say, I don't have a problem saying, babe, what you doing today? How's your day? I'm trying to ask if there is space for me. Or I just up and just come out and commandeer your day. I'm going to make sure that it's a possibility. Now, I don't know if he's going to just up and say, it don't matter what's in my day, I'm going to spend time with you anyway. But it would just be so much easier if they talk to us. The way I'm saying is like, don't take me around the world. Just tell me right here you want to spend time with me, and that will solve a lot for me. And it's solve a lot for us, because that's the communication. So learning to communicate with each other effectively. And the only reason why he and I didn't work, and we were talking about spreadsheets, which was like so amazing to me, but from the boss girl side, was that I recognized who he wanted that I could be, I wasn't ready to be her at that time. Like too many moving pieces, too many moving parts. And I'm like, I would want to be over there with him, but I can't give him that right now. And I am honest enough to say, I love you, but I have to walk away from the relationship because I would not want you to accept less than you deserve and less than what I want to give that you should have for me.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, was he ready to deliver what you wanted, especially on your required list?
I believe that he was, but men don't always know the depth of our needs. Meaning, I felt like I could check off a bunch of things off my list with him. I just needed simply this to know that I was going to be first with him. The same position I was going to give to him, I needed to be made sure that was the position that I was going to have. But all the other things that I thought I needed, he could provide. That one was going to take time and an in-person conversation and a good understanding of this is what I need from you. I've made the sacrifice to be here with you, but this is what I need. And I always need to always be sure of my footing, because that's the other thing that communication doesn't do for you. You need to know where you stand as the man in somebody's life. And you need to know how and where you stand as a woman in someone's life. And it shouldn't even be a question. You should never be guessing like, I wonder if they love me. I wonder if they care about me. I wonder if this, I wonder if that. If you have to wonder, then it doesn't exist.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you so much. This has been Power Pack. Thank you for staying over a little bit. Just tell them we're going to have some next week, and then we're going to let you guys go, because it's been great. Some great revelations and transformation. I can see it in Carissa's face that she's
I had fun.
Thank you for joining us. And Frederick.
Yeah, pleasure.
Frederick's still waiting for that list. He still asked about that list. You know, we talked about it. But tell them, Erica, what we're going to have next week. Before we let everyone go, they can look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us for another Purpose and Powerful podcast. Today was Strong Woman Problems. Next week, we're talking about the slippery slope of love. Yeah.
All right, I won't even ask, because that'll take us to a whole nother.
Yeah, that would take us. Yeah, we do teasers at the end. We end up being on for another 15 minutes.
You did not pull out the Vaseline,
bro. You guys enjoy your way from me, and I will see you soon.
Thank you. So much a pleasure to have you guys on.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.